Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be talking through another video about SATs reasoning questions, and this time we're looking at questions involving triangles that might come up. So to answer these questions, the children will need to have some key understanding. They'll need to know the names of different types of triangles. So we've got equilateral triangle, right angle triangle, isosceles and scalene. An equilateral triangle has all angles the same length, same amount, and all sides the same length. A right angle triangle has an angle which is 90 degrees, known as a right angle within it. An isosceles triangle has two sides the same length and two angles the same length. And a scalene triangle has no sides or angles the same. We'll also need to know to solve these questions that an acute angle is an angle less than 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is an angle more than 90 degrees, and also angles inside a triangle add up to 180 degrees. This is an equilateral triangle, so you can see that all the angles must add up to 180, so they must all be the same, which is 60. So let's have a look at some SATs type questions that involve triangles, and let's see if we can use that understanding to solve them. So a triangle has three equal sides. Write the sizes of the angles in this triangle. Well, straight away we're told it has equal sides, so it must be an equilateral triangle. And I've included this picture here so you can see what an equilateral triangle would look like, but this wouldn't be on this question, okay? So we would need to know, first of all, the angles inside a triangle add up to 180. And if we've got three equal ones, then we need to do 180 divided by 3, which makes 60. So each of these angles would be 60 degrees each. And that would be the correct answer. The second part of this question says a right angle triangle has two equal sides. So we've got more information here, and I've included a picture of a right angle triangle just down here. And you can see that one of the angles, being a right angle, must be 90. Now, if we know that all angles inside a triangle add up to 180, and one of those angles we know already is 90, then if I subtract 90 from 180, and you shouldn't have to do this column method, but we should know that two 90s go into 180. So we're left with 90. So one angle is 90 because it's there, and the other two for this triangle are the same. It says two equal sides, two equal angles as well. So if I've got 90 left and I do 90 divided by 2, because we've got 2 left, I get 45. So that means that angle there is 45 degrees and that angle there must be 45 degrees. So you can see how we use the knowledge of triangles and angles to solve these questions. Let's have a look at another one. These two shaded triangles are each inside a regular hexagon. Under each hexagon, put a ring around the correct name of the shaded triangle. So we've got a shaded triangle here and a shaded triangle here. Now, if we remember from the beginning of the video what these different triangles are like, this triangle here, it looks to have two sides that are the same and two angles that are the same. Now, if so, then it must be an isosceles triangle, because an isosceles triangle has two angles that are the same and two sides that are the same. This triangle, however, I'm looking at it now, it doesn't appear to have any angles that are the same. They all appear to be different. Okay, and also the sides appear to be different lengths, so it's definitely not isosceles. It can't be equilateral because the sides are not equal, so it must be scalene, so I can put a ring around that wood. A scalene triangle, all angles and sides are different. Okay, here's another SATs question about triangles. Here are 4 triangles on a square grid, A, B, C and D. Write the letters of the two isosceles triangles. So as we know, an isosceles triangle must have two sides the same length and two angles the same. So B is definitely an isosceles triangle. And they've tried to confuse you by just changing the rotation of the triangles. This one appears to be a right angle triangle. This one doesn't have two sides that are the same. So it must be this one. And I can clearly see when I look at it now, these two sides are the same and these two angles are the same. So the other isosceles triangle would be C. Okay, another question about triangles. The diagram shows a square with dots at the vertices and the middle of each side. Now, vertices is another mathematical term you would need to know. It just means corners, okay? The square is divided into 4 triangles. So we've got A, B, C, and D. Write the letters of all the triangles that have a right angle. So remember, a right angle looks a bit like an L. Okay, it's going to be 90 degrees. So which of these triangles have that? Well, the ones in the corners definitely are right angles, aren't they? So we've got to write down A, B, and D. I don't think there are any right angles on C. Write the letters of all the isosceles triangles. Well, C is definitely an isosceles because we've got 2 angles and 2 sides the same. But you would also need to know and see that A also has 2 sides and 2 angles the same. So A is also an isosceles triangle. So here's another question, and we do get these kinds of questions on the reasoning paper where we're asked to explain something. Okay, Tina measures the angles in a triangle. The sketch shows her results: 75, 35, and 45. Notice how it says it's not drawn accurately. That means that you won't need a protractor to check the angles on here. How can you tell that Tina has made a mistake? Well, at the beginning of the video, I told you that all angles inside a triangle add up to 180. So if we add 75 and 35 together, what do we get? 5 and 5 is 10, 0 down, carry 1. 3 and 7 is 10, and 1 is 11. Okay, we've got 110. Then if we add 45 to that 110, 5, 5, 1. So it's saying then that these angles all add up to 155 degrees. Well, that can't be correct because we know a fact that the angles inside a triangle add up to 180. So in order to get this mark, we would need to explain that with maths. So we need to write down Tina is incorrect because angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees, and these angles only add up to 155 degrees. And that explanation there would be enough to get us the mark. But we would need to know this fact, that angles inside a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Okay, and there you can see the solution. They've written it slightly differently because 35, 75, 45 is 155, and the angles in a triangle add up to 180. So there's a different way of you being able to explain it, and you can see showing your working also is a good way of explaining it as well. Thanks for watching this video all about the reasoning questions that might focus on triangles in the SATs. I hope you found it helpful. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll be adding more videos about reasoning questions coming up shortly. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.